Going to the Top, a one-act with dance by Matthew Belopavlovich. Scene 1, radio station.
You'll want to be where the music videos are rolling, the lightning effects are killer, and the music is cranked up high when the weekend arrives. California's newest summer hotspot, Music Video City, is opening this Friday night at the jolliest place on earth. Dance till you drop under the stars with your friends or maybe a hot date. Music Video City is the dancing, dating, party scene that everyone will be talking about this summer. We're giving away special, discounted music video passports to all grad night partiers. You might even win a new GM car while experiencing this high-energy, high-tech nightclub. You can pick up your exclusive passport in Town Square. All guests can save $5 with a coupon now available in Tiger Beat and 17 magazines. Get ready for a summer of dancing the night away at Music Video City!
Scene 2, bedroom/OCR office.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Orange County Register editorial line.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I was told this was the number to call if I had a story suggestion.
You have the right number.
Yes, okay. Are you familiar with Music Video City?
I am. It's the Mouse's new date night dance club.
That's the one. Are you aware that the jolliest place on earth has kicked out several guests because they were touching while dancing with the same sex?
I haven't heard about anything about that happening to anyone.
Well, that's what happened to my roommate, Maggie. She's a lesbian and one of my friends from San Francisco State.
Alright, kid, but what's the story?
If you look at the dance club's policy, it states that only male-female couples are permitted to dance together. It's discrimination.
A beat of silence. There's no response from the editor.
Maggie didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but I think it's outrageous.
But it didn't happen to you.
Not yet, no, but I was calling to tell you that my boyfriend and I are going to Music Video City this weekend.
And
I was wondering if you would want to send someone to document our queer rebellion.
I doubt that anyone working there will bother you if you're just dancing. It's not like you're going to be kissing in the middle of the dance floor.
But they've already kicked someone out, Maggie. And I don't know, maybe we will kiss. Shouldn't we be allowed to, just like any other couple?
Sorry, Thomas. There's just not enough for me to go off of here. What if nothing happens to you and your friend? Just try dancing somewhere else, okay? I'd rather not get involved with the Mouse Mastermind unless we have piles of evidence. I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for your time.
Scene 3, James's home. The lights shift to James, who is getting ready for school while dancing around his room. He occasionally strikes a fierce pose towards the mirror.
James, you need to be at the door in 5 minutes or you'll be late for school.
Thanks, Mom. I just have to grab my backpack.
Oh, and James, something from Thomas was buried in the mail yesterday. How's he doing at San Francisco State? I'm so glad you two have kept in touch.
Excellent. Thanks, Mom. Thomas said he'd be sending me one more letter before moving out of his apartment for the summer.
Well, I want to know all about his new college life after you finish reading. Promise to tell me about it over dinner?
Sure, Mom. And remember, I have soccer practice tonight. Love you.
Have a good day.
James exits out of the front door and opens the letter as he walks to the bus stop. He reads the letter as he waits.
Dear James, my first year is wrapping up successfully here. I made the dean's list. My parents will be happy about that. I can't wait to see you and go dancing at Music Video City. It will be our first ever date. Wait a second. If I'm going to tell this story, I should probably start from the beginning. Before this letter, San Francisco State University, the kiss, and meeting Thomas. Let's rewind to when I first met my boyfriend Thomas and his best friend Daniel. Hit it, DJ!
A pulsating 80s beat kicks in, and colorful lights transform the space into the dance club inside James's head. James begins the dance as a solo, and is then joined by Thomas, Daniel, and his mom, adorned in iconic 80s fashion. We get the sense that this is how James sees the world. As the music continues, The 4 characters perform high-energy choreography, signifying a rewind in time. The music begins to shift, characters perform a scenic transition, and we find ourselves in a school classroom as the music concludes. Scene 4, school classroom.
Who do you think would join?
I don't even know. I never thought our school district would even consider LGBT groups.
You're way off, man. San Francisco's right up the road. It is literally a gay mecca right now.
James rounds the corner overhearing the conversation. He stops to listen.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Except the Northeast has got us beat.
What do you mean?
There were some students in Massachusetts starting to organize.
How do you know that?
My cousin Tiffany lives out there, and we were talking on the phone a couple weeks ago.
Preppy suburban Tiff? Anything flies out there, huh?
And don't forget about those kids at George Washington High School in the Bronx.
What about them?
Dude, you need to brush up on your queer knowledge. Hey there.
What? Oh, hey man.
Off to soccer practice?
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
What were you two just talking about?
Thomas looks at Daniel, who shrugs, giving Thomas half-hearted permission.
There are some students on the East Coast forming groups to support gay and lesbian students.
Really?
Thomas notices James' gym bag.
You're a freshman, right? JV soccer?
Yeah.
A beat of awkward silence.
Wanna come in and sit down? I'm Thomas and this is Daniel. We're sophomores.
What is this co-curricular?
This is our soon-to-be, totally fabulous, gay and lesbian student support group, courtesy of the Los Angeles Unified School District.
And until then, we play sports on boards. We are the Mighty Chess Club.
Do you play chess?
Thomas slugs Daniel in the shoulder.
Actually, I better get to practice.
Sure thing, dude.
Our chess club is always open.
James speaks to the audience as lights fade on the previous scene.
I wasn't quite ready to join their gay and lesbian group in that moment. There was always something in the back of my mind whenever I took a girl to the middle school dances, and for the first time I was thinking that maybe I should stop ignoring that feeling. Daniel was nosy, and Thomas enlisted him to investigate me further. I guess Thomas developed a pretty big crush on me. Of course, my big mouth blabbed about my crush at the time. What can I say? He got me talking about soccer, and I love soccer.
Scene 5, boys' locker room.
Hey, James.
Oh, hi Daniel.
I heard in the morning announcements that you won the game over the weekend.
Yeah, it was a close one.
I played soccer in elementary school. I wasn't that good, but I think the jerseys are cute.
They actually call them kits in the UK. I want to travel to Europe and watch a game.
Sounds fun.
My parents flew us out to New York to see the Cosmos play last year. It was the best weekend of my life. That's where I got this Franz Beckenbauer jersey. Number 6, he's awesome the way he glides down the field. Beckenbauer's a central defender. His curly brown hair tousled by the wind. How you can see the power of his leg muscles.
In those barely there soccer shorts, like you wear,
Huh?
you might as well be wearing boxers.
They're made that way to allow freedom of movement when running the field or kicking the ball.
Sounds like you have a crush on this Franz guy.
What? No, I mean, he's a great footballer.
Who looks good in his kit, right?
So, why are you in the locker room?
Ugh, some of the sophomores are learning to dance till you make me feel like dancing for the homecoming assembly. Thomas should actually be here soon.
Thomas. Oh, dang, I gotta get to practice.
Sounds familiar.
Have to be on time if I want to make team captain senior year.
Right? Makes sense. Well, thanks to you, I now know more about soccer than I ever did.
Yeah.
James starts to walk away.
You should come to a game sometime.
I think Thomas and I can make that happen.
Okay, yes, come together. We play again this Thursday. Home game.
James turns and almost bumps into Thomas, who is entering the locker room.
Hey.
What's going on?
Yo, Thomas! We are going to the soccer game this Thursday to see James play.
Great.
I'm going to practice.
When are you not?
James shoots a look at Thomas.
Only joking. We'll be at the game.
James speaks to the audience as lights fade on the previous scene.
What? Thomas was coming to one of my games. I wish you could have seen my face. It was stuck on full ear-to-ear smile all night. Love sought is good, but given unsought is better. That's from Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Fast forward to our first kiss amidst a brief Shakespearean scene.
Scene 6. At school. Somewhere secluded.
Still can't believe you got cast as Romeo.
What? Do you see me as more of a friar?
No, I don't know all the characters. I may have skipped a few scenes.
What?
Soccer practice. Sometimes my homework gets benched.
Right. Bad to the bone.
Am I? So, who would that make me?
You're totally a Tybalt.
Oh, yeah, that's the street fight guy, right?
The street fight guy. You're not wrong, but you need to do some extra credit.
What do you mean?
You didn't read the full script, and now must help me rehearse for the play. I'm still struggling with my lines in Act 1, Scene 5.
Okay, sure.
I'll be Romeo, and you're, well, Juliet. Just help me with my lines, please.
I'm not an actor.
You are too. All the world's at stage, and all the men and women merely players.
Who said that?
Wow. William Shakespeare wrote it. Let me educate you.
Fine. Give me your script.
We're starting at my line, if I profane. See it?
Found it.
Thomas gets into character for a second while James just stares.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Thomas grabs James' hand. James is surprised but goes along with a smile from Thomas.
Good pilgrim. You do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints' lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Thomas moves in closer to James, placing his hand to James' cheek. James reaches up to grab his arm, first to remove, but he doesn't.
Sorry, James. I'm just doing the blocking Mrs. Elliot gave us.
No, it's okay. My line is next. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not.
James and Thomas stare into each other's eyes. It is a beat of intensity.
While my prayer's effect I take.
Thomas gently moves his James' hand from his cheek into his palm. Thomas kisses his hand and James cracks a big blushing smile.
So, how do you feel about your lines now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. I should get to soccer practice.
Right. I'm a little late to rehearsal anyway.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks for helping with my lines.
Sure. Alright. Bye.
Scene 7. School parking lot.
The truth was, I was falling for Thomas. I couldn't stop thinking about that kiss on my hand. I didn't even wash my hand for the rest of the day. I wanted to be Thomas's boyfriend, and I had to tell him. Of course, I couldn't do it publicly. I wasn't ready to come out. There had been so much in the news recently about parents disowning their children or kicking them out of the house after they came out. I couldn't risk anyone on the soccer team or my parents finding out. But it needed to be romantic and sophisticated, something that Thomas would appreciate. Letters always seemed romantic in the movies, so that's what I went with. The only problem was that I didn't know what to say. I kept it short.
Thomas walks up to his Jeep and notices something in the hood of his vehicle.
Thomas, I like you. Do you like me? Wear something green tomorrow if yes, and white if no. I'm hoping for green, Jay.
The colors of my favorite soccer team, the Cosmos. Well, he wore green, a neon green jacket with hints of blue and pink to keep it subtle. He knew that I wasn't ready to tell the world. Thomas liked me, and my heart was bouncing off the walls.
Scene 8, James's house.
Before we go inside, you're cool with this, right? I mean, we can always hang at my house or keep it a strictly at-school thing. I understand what you're doing.
No, it's fine, really. My parents know we're friends, and they like you. Like me having you as a friend. Not like all the other jocks I spend time with.
How so?
Well, you're courteous to my parents for one. You say please and thank you rather than just gobbling up all the snacks and leaving a mess. You know, that kind of stuff.
As long as you're comfortable.
Totally. And if anything comes up that I'm not ready to discuss, I'll expertly maneuver around it like I do with my ship when I'm killing it at Starfire.
Right. Let's go, Space Warrior.
They enter James' house, and his mother approaches from an adjoining room.
Hi, boys.
Hey, Mom.
Hello, Mrs. Boyd.
Nice to see you again, Thomas. It's been a while.
Mom, we hang all the time.
Well, yes, but not at our house.
Okay, we'll be in my room.
Sounds good.
The boys start to exit towards James's room.
Oh, and Thomas.
Yeah?
Would you like to stay for dinner? Nobody eats leftovers around here.
Mom, I think that Thomas...
Would love to. Yes, I would like to stay for dinner.
Well, you can use the phone in our kitchen to call your parents and ask.
A couple years felt like seconds. And before we knew it, Thomas was a senior.
Scene 9, Thomas's Jeep.
We're here.
Thomas,
Yeah? You look worried, James. What's going on?
I'm just...
You can tell me anything.
It's going to be hard not having you around next year.
I know.
I mean, you've changed my life. These past few years have been so great, and this feels like an ending. I'm afraid.
There's nothing to be worried about. I'm yours.
What if you go off to college in San Francisco and meet other guys that are, I don't know, more comfortable than me, sexier than me, more like you?
So you think I'm sexy?
Thomas, I'm serious. I don't know if I'll ever be ready to come out. It's scary.
I'm not asking you to do that.
Now you aren't. You're going to the gay mecca. Who knows what you'll feel when you get there? It's just been us. You, me, Daniel, and our own little world. But it's about to be a whole new experience for you.
James, take a breath, babe. You don't need to rush anything or be like the gay men strutting down Castro Street. I like the always curious, soccer-playing, Starfire pro James. Yes, I'm looking forward to having more freedoms than here and meeting like-minded people, but I want to share those moments with you, and that's why we're here.
Right. Okay, I'll try to relax. Where is here exactly? You still haven't told me where you're taking me after dinner.
And I'm having second thoughts. Maybe I should have. I just wanted you to see what else is going on and meet other people in our community that want change.
Okay.
There's a youth social event organized by the Gay and Lesbian Community Service Center tonight, and I wanted us to go meet other people who feel the same way we do. Everyone here is an ally. Nothing will get back to your parents, I promise.
I trust you.
Good. And we can leave whenever you want, or if it's boring, and just drive. Okay?
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
Thomas starts to get out of the vehicle.
Wait, Thomas?
Yeah?
I wish we could go to your senior prom together.
That would be awesome. I promise to take you dancing someday.
Yeah. School dance rules are a total bummer.
But we can meet up on Sunday, and I'll tell you all about it. Might even dance for you.
I'd like that. Oh, dang, I almost forgot. I got you something to wear when you move away. Something to keep you comfortable and inspired.
James hands Thomas an unwrapped department store gift box. Thomas opens the gift box. It is a baggy Champion brand sweatshirt. Thomas gives a questioning look to James.
See? For the Curious Crusader? That free LGBT magazine you dream of creating?
I love it, James.
They share an awkward car hug.
Hey, I heard that the Mouse is opening up an outdoor dance club. Maybe we could all go when you come home for one of your breaks.
You tell me the date and time, and I'll pick you up. Now let's go inside before all the good snacks are gone.
You're all caught up. Even though Thomas was moving away to San Francisco for college, I knew we'd be all right. And just as he promised in the letter, Thomas was taking me to Music Video City. Tonight!
Scene 10. James's house. Living room.
So, when is Thomas picking you up?
I think he said around 7:30.
Okay. And how late are you planning to stay out? I think I read that club stays open till something like 2 o'clock in the morning. That's 3 hours past your curfew.
But Mom, I haven't seen Thomas in months. Can I please stay out a little bit later tonight?
Sure. But remember, you have the whole summer to keep going back. It's not just open tonight.
Yeah, but tonight is special.
Special? Is anyone else going with you? Thomas's friend Daniel or Maggie or...
No, it's just... I mean, yeah, maybe they'll stop by.
All right, fine. Leave the park by midnight, be home by 1. That's non-negotiable.
Thanks, Mom. I owe you.
I'll remember that. So, is Thomas still driving that Jeep he had in high school?
I'm not sure. Maybe his ecologically savvy friends at San Francisco State convinced him to get a new car.
Or a bike. You know, things that you couldn't say, do at your school are probably freely discussed at his university.
Actually, Thomas mentioned he was joining a couple different activist groups and getting involved with some protest marches at school.
Which ones? Do you know what he's supporting? Who's he trying to help?
Question overload, Mom. I think he's going to be here soon, and I need to finish doing my hair.
Your hair? It looks fine. And you have your new shirt on.
I just, it's a cool dance club, and I just want to make sure I fit in with everybody.
Oh, James, of course you'll fit in. You're awesome. And I just hope you know that I love you no matter what.
Mom, what are you even talking about?
You know, you can tell me anything, right?
Okay, Mom, stop being weird. I'm gonna go finish getting ready.
Okay, James. I hope you have a great night. And you better ride Runaway Thunder Train. You know, I haven't been on it yet, and I want to hear all the details.
Sure, Mom. We'll definitely ride Runaway Thunder Train.
Scene 11. Music Video City. James and Thomas are seen dancing at Music Video City.
All right. I see some totally rad dance moves out there. Let's keep the party going with another chart-topping music video.
They've been playing all of my favorite songs tonight.
I'm glad you're having fun.
Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know. I guess I was just nervous about... you're not out. And I wasn't sure how you felt about other people seeing us dance together.
I feel like this is the only place I can be me. Your imagination can run wild here. Their movies are full of characters who are considered different.
Different? We're just like everybody else.
You know what I mean. How the world sees them. How they have to rely on their friends and believe in themselves.
Yeah, I just hate that word different. But you're right. I'm sure there are a bunch of gay boys dancing around their basements with an imaginary Prince Charming.
A security guard enters.
Excuse me, young men, but I need you to leave the dance floor so that we can have a word.
Dang, I knew this was gonna happen.
You what was gonna happen?
You can tell us right here. We're paying guests just like everyone else.
Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just enforcing the rules.
Yeah, I know all about your discriminatory rules. You kicked my friend Maggie and her girlfriend out recently.
Thomas, what are you talking about?
They're trying to remove us from the club, and I'll tell you later.
What?
If you don't cooperate, you'll be suspended from the property completely. I'm just asking you to leave the dance floor.
So we can secretly hold hands on a ride, but not at this club for dates?
Sir, we were barely touching, and we could stop. Just let us stay and dance.
No, James, you're my boyfriend and we're on a date. We should be able to dance together.
You're making this difficult. Why don't you just find two nice girls to dance with for the rest of tonight?
I think you're making it difficult. We were just dancing.
This is a family park, gentlemen. Nobody wants queers around their kids.
So that's what this is about? No gays allowed?
You two were engaging in homosexual fast dancing and touch. It's against our policy for music video city.
Seriously? We were just having some fun.
Guys, if you won't exit the dance floor peacefully, I'll have to call over some other guards and it will be a bigger scene than it already is. Just exit the dance floor, okay?
Yeah, we're going. So much for the jolliest place on earth.
Thomas tugs at James and they leave the dance floor. James speaks to the audience as lights fade on the previous scene.
Thomas isn't wrong. We should have been allowed to dance just like any other couple. And even though I hadn't heard it spoken in front of others yet, we were boyfriends. In school, there was no mention of the Stonewall riots or the first gay liberation march, but Thomas knows all about gay and lesbian activists and moments. He's still charged up from that encounter with the security guard.
Scene 12, Thomas's bedroom.
Sorry that I outed you in the park tonight. That was totally uncalled for.
I'm actually feeling pretty okay about it. We were dancing together, I'm sure some people guessed.
Yeah, but it wasn't my place to do that.
It's not like it was in front of my soccer teammates or parents.
Right?
Hey, Thomas, what did you mean earlier when you said, I knew this was going to happen?
Oh, shoot. Okay. My friend Maggie from San Francisco State.
Yeah, you've talked about her a lot.
Well, she had went to Music Video City with her girlfriend, and they were kicked out, just like us.
So, you knew it was possible?
Yes, but I may have also called a newspaper to see if they could cover us being removed from the dance floor.
What? But how could you know it would also happen to us?
I didn't. I just had a feeling.
A hope? It's supposed to be a date, not an activist thing.
I know, and I'm sorry. Kind of.
What kind of apology is that?
Don't you think we should be able to hold hands, dance together, share a meal, kiss, not just in our rooms, but in public, live our lives as partners, just like every other couple?
Of course, that would be amazing. Once I find the courage to come out to everyone.
And I don't want to pressure you, babe, but isn't there an opportunity here?
To what?
Come out, wherever you are. Harvey Milk is calling to you right now. We have to battle this in court. We have to fight for the right to dance together so that one day couples like us might even be able to get married.
James is in a state of shock at the thought of marriage. He stares at Thomas.
You're so brave, Thomas, but I don't think I can do that.
It happened to us, not me. We need to fight this together as boyfriends to win. And your mom can help us. She can help us approach the ACLU.
The ACLU?
Yes, the American Civil Liberties Union. What happened to us tonight was discrimination.
Yeah, this whole thing makes me feel awful.
Yes, it does. And your mom's law firm can help us request legal assistance from the ACLU. I mean, I know they're fighting for gay and lesbian rights, and I think they'd be interested in this as a potential case.
Which means I would need to tell my mom about us, right?
Yes, I know it's asking so much, James, and I understand if you're not ready. It's just, I know we could do something important in this moment together.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, I'll talk to my mom.
Really? Because I want you to be sure about this.
And Thomas,
Yeah?
I love you.
Thomas stares into James's eyes and then gives him a giant hug.
I love you too. I'm so proud of you, James.
And so, as the soundtrack of Sunday morning cartoons provided some levity for the tension I'm about to create, I cautiously sit down to talk to my mother.
Scene 13, James's house, kitchen.
Hey, James. So, how was last night?
We had fun, but
Uh-oh. A butt. What happened? Sit down, have some coffee, and spill.
We got kicked out.
You what? What, did you get into a fight or steal something?
Mom, did you forget who your son was?
Well, I don't know.
You know I want to do those things.
Okay. So, what happened?
We were dancing.
Well, I would hope so. Did you meet some other people to hang out with?
We were dancing together.
Oh.
Sorry, this is a mistake.
Oh,
Never mind.
no. It's okay, James. Just tell me what happened.
We were dancing together. We held hands. And after a couple songs, this security guard came up to us and asked us to find girls to dance with or leave the dance floor.
What did you do?
Then Thomas got pretty upset and started arguing with the security guard. Everybody around us was staring. We caused a pretty big scene, I guess. But then we left. Nothing else happened. He wasn't arrested or anything.
Oh, I am sorry, honey. That sounds like an awful end to your night.
Yeah, definitely wasn't how I thought the night would go. Wait, you're not mad that I was dancing with Thomas?
Well, there have been some moments with you and Thomas when I suspected that maybe you were more than just friends. And that's okay. I don't understand it fully, if I'm being honest. But what I do know is that you're happy with Thomas, and that's all that matters. All that matters to us is that you're happy.
Wait, us?
Your father and I talked about what we sensed was true. We didn't know if you would ever bring it up. Things are tough out there for gay people, James. We're just concerned.
Well, actually, that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Now I'm thinking we should have had more of these coffee chats when you were growing up. What else is on your mind?
We were wondering if you would help us organize our thoughts and speak with the ACLU. Thomas believes that we could go to court on the grounds of sexual discrimination. We should have been able to stay and dance. We want the same rights as anyone else.
James, nothing would make me happier right now than to help you fight the mouse.
Really, Mom?
Yes, I'm in. Why don't you invite Thomas over for dinner? We'll talk about next steps.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. I'll call him now.
Scene 14. News studio / on location. All characters appear in lighting specials as they speak. The actor playing mother switches costume pieces to signify the two legal team members.
After nearly 4 years, a decision has been reached in the Drake and ACLU versus the Mouse case. The jolliest place on earth has been forced to eliminate a ban on same-sex dancing, a policy that has been in place since the 1950s. With the ACLU's help, Thomas Drake sued the amusement park for sexual discrimination after he and his boyfriend were kicked out of Music Video City for dancing together. Over $20,000 in emotional damage is to be paid to the families of Thomas Drake and his boyfriend James.
We will be donating a portion of the funds to a local LGBT center.
And we plan to use the remaining funds to start a free magazine that promotes equal rights and exposes discrimination.
The boy's attorney held his ground, reminding the courtroom that
The Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex.
the spokesperson for the Mouse claims that the same-sex dancing policy was
Put in place to avoid men without dates, turning the date night attraction into a pickup joint.
But that night, witnesses heard a security guard accuse the young men of, quote, homosexual fast dancing before escorting them off the dance floor. It's a partial win, though, as less than an hour ago, the Mouse's attorney stated,
The amusement park would abide by the order regarding Thomas and James, but it doesn't apply to others.
only time will tell if the jolliest place on earth is also a welcoming place for all. I'm Drew Scott for KTLA Channel 5. Back to you, Jessica.
Scene 15. James's car.
Does this remind you of anything?
Will you break up with me if I say no?
Sitting in a car, you're about to graduate, I have one more year of college.
I guess you're right. The night I took you to that meeting at the Gay and Lesbian Community Service Center.
Bingo. Except trade in that champion sweatshirt I gave you for a gorgeous tux.
You clean up pretty well yourself.
And this time you're doing the talking. The Curious Crusaders is going to help people, kids like me in high school, and spread pride across this nation.
Yeah, wow, I still can't believe this magazine is a reality.
That editor didn't listen to you years ago, but now you have the opportunity to cover important stories happening to people in our community.
We have the opportunity.
Right. I'll do my best when answering the phone, boss.
Shut up.
What?
It's just, you're finally joining my chess club.
They hug. It's filled with many emotions.
Let's go inside. We have a first issue to celebrate.
Lights fade to black. End of play.
Has any questions, just raise your hand, I'll call you out, and we can get the party going.
This is the author.
Yes,
Guys,
hi.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions for the cast or Playwright,
Or thoughts,
or thoughts, things they'd like to share.
rewrites.
I've got a question.
Yes.
I mean, when did you start thinking about this play? I get
Okay.
the idea it might have been a long time ago.
We were like kind of coming off the pandemic, and we went. My husband and I went to a cabin. That was like our holiday getaway because we weren't seeing anybody, and I was like looking through YouTube, and there was this kind of story. There's a channel called Defunct Land, if anybody's familiar with it, and they talk about like Disney lore and stuff like that. And part of this section of this video was like, oh, they opened Tomorrowland Terrace and they were kicking out people, and I thought, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing. And I just started reading the other newspaper articles that were available about that specific moment, and there were a lot of them. There were different types of events that happened, and so I like wrote ideas on a paper, like word vomit, and then when I started my master's, I was taking a playwriting class, and I was like, oh, I'll write a couple more scenes just for fun, and then that was, that led into applying for the Fringe and a Fringe festival, and I got accepted, and then I better finish the play, or make it like 30 minutes or something, so then I just finished it. But so the James and Thomas thing is like a bunch of different experiences that people had kind of smashed together, and then there was one big court case where they said, okay, well, just for these two, we'll make an exception, but everyone else, no, you can't do this anymore. Eventually, the public made them strike it down completely, but yeah, so that was 2022 when we did the show, and then I wrote. It used to just be the reporter saying, or at the end saying that whole monologue, and then it just seemed odd, so wrote them into it as well. And then James and Thomas going over to Mom's house is new. That we didn't do that at the Fringe. Just kind of have more of. I never felt like Thomas met the mom, so that was kind of important because at the end for a 35-minute show at a festival style show, it's like, oh, how would she be so willing? So we needed that low piece, but it's been just evolving, as a little passion project, and I kept thinking I want to tell a story that's positive because so many of the stories that kind of came out of that time were very negative. They focused on like HIV or just getting kicked out of your home or whatever, and I thought, well, what if, because the mom actually did they had friend and family assistance, not the mom specifically, but I thought, what if that was true? And then kept working on that. So it's been a little 4-year thing, 5 years. Yeah.
Any thoughts? Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, as the playwright, how did you contend with the realities that queer people face as, like, since the play is kind of focusing more on this experience of some type of win or experience of joy, like, did you have that experience yourself, or were you contending with a lot of those harsh realities that you...
Yeah. Well, first, the fringe that I did was in Tampa, Florida, and so it was like really kind of crazy that people had it. This happened at Disneyland. Is where this happened. But Disney World was just down the road where we were presenting the piece, so that was kind of an interesting dynamic. But a lot of the mini scenes like are kind of influenced by, you know, like I had a really bad coming out experience, and I like the kind of the joy, like it was in contrast to what I kind of experienced, and then there were other little moments like spread throughout that were kind of, I don't know, little pieces of high school life for me. James is supposed to be a high school senior and Tom is supposed to be a college freshman, if that didn't ring true. But yeah, so it feels very close to me in ways, but also, and I loved soccer. I played soccer all through middle school and into JV. But a lot of what Thomas says like has some truth to, or what James says has some truth to my life. Yeah. And then there was like a GSA that I never went into at my high school. I just like was on the outskirts of it, listening in. So like some of that stuff's just like little nuggets, but a lot of it's fiction. Yeah. I have a question for everyone. So my hope is to do another Fringe, maybe Cincy Fringe. It's kind of like out there in the world for me. So keeping in mind that a Fringe show is under an hour, so usually like 40 to 45 minutes, do you feel like with the dancing it usually hits about 35, do you feel like anything's missing? Yeah. Like a scene that if you wish there was, what would it be?
I was thinking this during the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this would be courtroom dance number.
The courtroom dance.
It has something to do with like the court case. I was wondering more like how was that like that?
What did that feel like?
Yeah.
Or some sort of like feeling about, because I don't really know there is not a lot of documentation about what was said.
Oh, I'm
So
sure.
I kind of like, that's why I went to the reporter, because at least I knew I could read the newspaper article, that very few, but I could read them.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, the play is more than anything to me a classic coming of age.
It is,
James.
yeah, very
And,
coming of age. Yeah.
And then the relationship with James and Thomas. So yeah, if you did expanded a courtroom scene that also showed how their relationship has matured or changed, adding something about their relationship into that, because the court case and everything is sort of a backdrop. It's how they come of age. But,
Right.
you know, it's really about them and showing,
Yeah, it's about them, and and just, yeah, because my initial thought is capture why two people would want, why does everybody out there want the same rights?
Yes.
It's like they fell in love, right? So they should be able to do everything else and that kind of was like, as you said, yeah, they kind of the vehicle, the love story.
It'd be nice to see them get to dance together.
Or maybe even seeing, I'm thinking like a prep where they're all prepping together for the court case. So if I can't figure out what the court case feels like, but yeah.
This is a very small thing, but you mentioned Harvey Milk in the play, and then like, obviously he was assassinated, and I feel like queer history in the U.S. is like this cyclical series of like progressions and then backlash, and to see them kind of like weather this like there's progress and there's forward momentum, and then all of a sudden it gets like cut down, and how does that affect like both the relationship but also just like the way that they move throughout the world, the confidence with which they're able to be themselves. I would love to see some of that integrated into it.
I also think they contrast each other in such a way that's so interesting to me, like, because Thomas is kind of like pulling all these references. He's very well read. He's well researched, and James is like kind of not in that boat.
Right.
You know, focused on the soccer of it all, and like the sort of like the dichotomy of that, and like Thomas kind of gets ahead of himself and outs James.
Yeah,
and
that's
I wonder about
yeah.
like if there's like a little bit more like negative emotions James could feel about that, and then there's kind of more of an arc that brings them back together for the greater good.
And I directed The Fringe, so like I had, when I did that play, I had a really I was like, this is what. So that moment, it's so interesting to see it again. That moment was a very different tone than today. Felt a little bit more light, and I'm not saying that it's kind of an interesting thing to see that if it is played differently, it kind of changes what that moment is. So maybe there needs to be something else that's a little bit more specific. So I like that. Yeah.
Well, and I played the mom, very supportive and everything.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't have to be. I mean,
No.
there could be a reason why he's not quite sure.
Sure.
She could be more ambiguous.
Yeah, I liked what happened tonight. It was actually more what I wish what I wish my mom would have, how she would have responded is a little bit interesting to hear that for me. Yeah, but yeah, I think there's some. I
don't know.
I love all these ideas. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback because it is like a 10-year timeline or something. There's it's like in the end, like court cases took a while. Like all that stuff took a while. But then I debate because I wanted it to feel a little bit like Heartstopper and Love Simon and Love Victor and all these things that were kind of like culturally in our time. So that's kind of where some of the lightness came from. But maybe there is a moment. Yeah, maybe there is a moment that's in there. Thanks for that feedback, everyone.
Thank you for your art. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You can open the door. Let's roll out.